Hi, sisters.
What's up, everyone? This is maybe the first just us two episode that we've done in months.
Yeah.
We've been doing interviews for a while, and we also sometimes batch record interviews. So it's been like a minute since it's just been me and you talking on this podcast.
A lot has happened over the past few months, including me getting pregnant and being bedridden during the first trimester of my pregnancy. The nausea was real, but I'm back and I'm in action and I'm here, sisters.
I mean, we had to sneakily do things for a few months while Taline has been pregnant. I mean, like no one knew the first 3 months how difficult it actually was for Taline, to be honest.
Yeah, I could not get out of bed. I was so nauseous. I felt like somebody was like squeezing my throat and it wasn't going away for like every single day. And you know, like when you're nauseous, okay, you're nauseous. And then the next day you're fine. Or like you feel better after a couple days. But it was like after the 6th, 7th, 8th week, I was like, wow, this is just way too much. But then once I started feeling better, when that 12 weeks hit, I got up, I went to the mall just to like look at things and people and like be out. It was crazy because I really didn't leave the house for like a really long time. And it was an amazing feeling to feel normal. And it just made me think like, wow, never take this for granted. Like, honestly.
The number of times I've heard Taline gagging from the other room, this is what I hear every day,
Stop.
every few hours. I'm just, okay, everybody get
Close
ready.
your ears if you can't handle
Just
this.
get ready. Usually it's like, yeah.
See that?
This is what I hear throughout the day, every day. I mean, it's less now, but the first 3 months, that's basically what it was.
He was like concerned in the beginning and then he just got used to it because it just was what it was.
Now it's like, you know, like when you hear your dog in the other room like cough, at first you're like, is she choking? And now you know, like your dog just makes these weird noises. Well, I'm not trying
How
to
dare you compare me to a
This
dog?
is as I was saying it, I realized how terrible this sounds. But okay, all jokes aside, you're doing
fine.
amazing, babe.
I'm doing amazing.
And
yeah.
let's not
Okay.
forget, you're literally like back to making content full time. So thank you for
Yes.
like continuing to uphold your content creation. The first 3 months was tough though.
It was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Doctor said you got PCOS. Now go on, girl, just lose some weight. Till I took the symptoms into my own hands and reversed them naturally.
Yes.
Because not only did I not get out of bed, my brain stopped working. I mean, I have nothing good to say about the first 3 months, honestly.
I have to say, like, I don't know how like women who are pregnant and who work through their pregnancy until like the final stages, like I don't know how they do it, because seeing how Taline was, for anyone who goes to work, like who has to go to
Who has
office,
to like leave the house and be in public like that, props to you.
seriously,
I don't know how you
it
do
should
it.
be like immediately you should be put on disability.
I mean,
leave,
that's what the
honestly.
doctor said. She's like, sometimes I just put people on disability.
Not everyone
I'm
who's
like,
pregnant should be.
That's what I would have 100% done
Yeah.
and did.
Yeah.
It's just one day I got in bed, I was like, Sirak, I'm going to be here
Yeah.
for 3 months.
No problem.
Good luck. Anyways.
All right. Well, on today's episode, we're going to be definitely talking about a little bit of Taline's pregnancy, of course. And we have an episode about that as well soon. But we're going to talk about Inositol, how it's one of the most crucial supplements, not just for insulin resistance, but essentially for PCOS. It is the most researched supplement for PCOS. So it's not something we talk about enough, to be honest. So we're going to talk about
This
it.
whole episode
today.
is going to be about it. And it's going to be about explaining insulin resistance and the other factors that promote improving insulin sensitivity, not just inositol.
Yeah. By the way, if you have not heard about Inositol before, I cannot begin to tell you how many, like literally thousands of babies, thousands of periods, thousands of symptoms have been resolved due to just like inositol supplements, taking inositol, like
in conjunction with diet change, though.
Yeah, of course. So just when I say it's the most researched supplement for PCOS, there's a reason why, because there's so many positive results from it that the research has been continuing and developing and, you know, opening up more and more people to try it.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, should we jump into some wins of the week before we get into it?
Yep. These are wins of the week. These are sisters who are managing their PCOS, reversing their symptoms, and basically showing PCOS What a boss is.
I'm sure you miss saying that.
Saying
Jesus
that, gosh
Christ.
darn it. I miss saying it. All right, why don't you read off our first one from Corinne?
Corinne, she emailed us and she said that my cycles have gone from 50 days to 30 or 32 days since taking inositol. I'm so grateful for the regularity while trying to conceive.
Yes, we all know how important that is when you're trying to.
It is so
get your
important.
cycles on time.
Yeah, to get that together, before you get pregnant. So congratulations, Karen.
Yes.
One of the beautiful messages we typically get from inositol.
Yes. Our second one of the week is from Cameron. She says, so excited to start these this week. I noticed improvement in my cravings, sleep, and daily energy just by implementing some of the healthy recipes from the app. It feels so nice to notice progress. Finally. Thanks, Taline. That's all. Forget about Sirak. Just kidding. But she sent a picture of Inositol, testosterone relief tea, and our PCOS multivitamin. So awesome. So excited for you to try these out, Cameron, and let us know how it goes.
I love how she's pairing the diet and lifestyle changes and like layering it with supplements.
Yeah, exactly. Amazing. And speaking of layering in lifestyle and changes and recipes, we also do want to mention that we are doing weekly coaching calls in the sisterhood now. We always like gather feedback and what people want us to add to the app. And one of the things that people were wanting were more one-on-one time. So we added weekly coaching calls. So every week we hop on a group coaching call where sisters can either send us questions through the chat, or they can hop on the call with us and literally talk one-on-one with Taline and get their questions answered. Of course, you can leave your camera off or you can send it anonymous. But basically, we're trying to give more one-on-one attention to everyone as best as we can.
It's kind of like stepping into an office and getting one-on-one coaching for PCOS. So if you ever need that type of support, in addition to the diet and lifestyle changes, which can be really difficult doing on your own, we are here for you in the Sisterhood app.
Yeah, we just did it this last Tuesday, and it was really fun. I remember Francesca hopped on the call to ask some of her questions about having high proteins for breakfast and how to set herself for the rest of the day. So that was really great to talk to her about that directly.
Yeah,
and
I enjoyed doing like a person, like actually turning the audio on.
Yeah, yeah,
that was fun.
Exactly. All right, let's get into the podcast. So as many of you know, 80% of PCOS women have insulin resistance. And in many cases, when you're told at the doctor's office that you have insulin resistance, what are you usually told? Cut out carbs. Just go keto. You know what? Just cut calories.
Yes. And one of the things that I was told was just to take birth control. And I recently did a post on Instagram where I said, I wish I was given inositol instead of birth control when I was first diagnosed with PCOS. And this post went viral. And I really think that, because of that post, I felt like this episode was really important, because in this episode, I want to share with you what birth control does and what inositol does, and, why we're handed birth control and what our options really are, because typically we feel like birth control is the only one. Mm-hmm. So there are other options, and I'm going to get into how both of those work and affect your body as a woman with PCOS.
Yes, exactly. Now, if you don't know much about insulin resistance, these are some common symptoms. We all know, of course, cravings. When you have insulin resistance, you can get those insane, uncontrollable cravings. And then it can also lead to irregular periods where you may completely miss your period, or it's off, the timing is off, or it can even be painful, etc. It can lead to hair loss, as well as, unfortunately, infertility. But as most of you know, some of the most frustrating symptoms are the uncontrollable weight gain, retention of belly fat, water retention, even like PCOS moon face that can also be contributed to water retention in the face as well.
Yes. There's also skin tags, acanthosis nigricans, which is like patches of dark skin, and uncontrollable weight gain, and excessive, weight gain in the midsection. Yeah. So it could be so frustrating. You could be eating really clean, like I was when I was really struggling with PCOS. I was, just not even overeating, counting all my calories and everything, but the foods and the combinations were driving my insulin resistance, and I could not lose the belly fat. So this managing insulin resistance will target your belly fat as well, if that's something you struggle with.
And speaking of all these symptoms, they can all be managed and reversed completely. So if you're struggling with any of these, including infertility, do not worry. They are reversible. You can completely change the picture of your ovaries with some of these recommendations, supplement, lifestyle changes.
Yeah. So I want to explain to you what insulin resistance is. And Sirak is going to make hand gesture. What's it called?
I will make a
mime.
Visual presentation. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can watch there or hop on there.
We have done this for years. I don't know if you guys have been watching for years, but this is something we do. Sirak mimes it and I explain it. So insulin resistance. It all starts with the hormone insulin. When you eat something, your blood sugar goes up and your body produces the hormone insulin. Insulin is the hormone that will take that sugar and put it into your cells, give it to your cells, and your cells will burn that sugar for energy. And then that your metabolism works properly. What you eat is being metabolized throughout the day. You have energy and so on. But when you're insulin resistant, the hormone insulin can't communicate with your cells, okay? They are resistant. Your cell is kind of locked up and not speaking to insulin. So what happens is your body keeps producing more insulin, and the cells aren't responding. And then your blood sugar remains high because the sugar just floats around in your bloodstream. And what happens is that sugar stores as fat around your organs in the midsection, around your liver, around the organs in the midsection, making it really hard to lose weight in your belly because when your cells are resistant to insulin, what you're eating is essentially storing as fat in the midsection. Then the hormone insulin does you dirty and it goes and it triggers high testosterone in your ovaries, which leads to PCOS symptoms like infertility, not being able to ovulate, irregular periods, facial hair, acne, all of these things. So it really targets 80% of women with PCOS, and many of us have a lot of the same symptoms because of insulin resistance. Was that good?
It was very good. I was miming it the whole time until the very end. But if you want to watch that demonstration, please hop on over to YouTube. But with that explanation too, this is why we constantly tell people PCOS weight gain isn't a matter of being lazy, isn't a matter of willpower. Your hormones are literally working against you when you have insulin resistance and making you retain the weight, making your metabolism worse. They're definitely working against your body. So again, just a reminder that it's not your fault and that there's so many layers behind PCOS weight gain.
Yeah, we should ask ourselves, how do we manage insulin resistance? Not just, how do I lose weight? Okay, that is the main question. If you manage the insulin resistance, it's going to really help you metabolize your food and just naturally lose weight.
Yeah.
Not to mention, if you don't manage the insulin resistance now, it can lead to diabetes later. Women with PCOS are 4 times more likely to develop diabetes. So we bring awareness to this subject so much. You always hear us talk about inositol, because it is preventative. Not only will you thrive now, but you're preventing that from happening later.
Yes, exactly. So as we get into inositol, we'll also talk about metformin as well and compare the two together. But did you pretty much explained why you wish you were given inositol instead of birth control? Well,
I kind of want to dive into that before we go into metformin, just so everyone has an understanding of this. So birth control, so let's start from the top. We go to the doctor's office. And we're like, I don't have a period. I have all these symptoms. What do I do? My hormones are imbalanced. And then the doctor says, here, take birth control. But my doctor didn't give me any explanation. Like many doctors, it wasn't like, you have insulin resistance. This is what that means. The blood sugar, this is what you can do. No one explained anything. It was just the birth control. So why I wish it was inositol is because of this. So birth control gives you a fake period. I was missing my period for a year. And I thought by taking birth control, I would just get my period back. But it gives you a fake period. It doesn't fix your PCOS. It just turns off the natural hormonal rhythms, which are actually probably imbalanced because of PCOS already. And it replaces them with synthetic hormones. Now, while you're on birth control, your period is caused because you withdraw from the hormones for a week and then you just bleed. Okay. But what happens, you're not getting that like natural rhythm of, progesterone and estrogen. And there's like a cycle that's supposed to happen for 28 days. And in a natural period, your estrogen should rise before you ovulate, and then progesterone should increase after you ovulate. But birth control suppresses your entire rhythm, prevents the ovulation, and, you get that fake period. But what you're really missing out on by taking birth control is that, I'm pregnant, out of breath.
Take a break.
Is that ovulation is important even if you don't want to get pregnant. It helps you calm anxiety. It helps support sleep. It helps with bone density, brain health, all of these things, metabolism, weight loss. So you want to ovulate. So you're turning everything off by taking birth control. You are withdrawing from hormones and bleeding, but that doesn't mean you ovulated. There's no rhythms going on. Like it's just synthetic, the whole thing. But if you take inositol, if I was just given 40-1 inositol at 4,000 milligrams, like the exact ratio shown in studies for women with PCOS, if I was given the proper dosage, if I was given that in the beginning, in the first place, I would have gotten my period back without the birth control. And my symptoms would have improved. My blood sugar would have improved. My cravings would have gone away. I would have lost weight. My period would have regulated. My ovulation would come back. Like it would have helped fix the situation instead of mask it. So that's why I really wish that they handed inositol in the right dosage instead of birth control.
Yes. I love that. I love that explanation, babe.
Yeah.
And getting into a lot of the benefits of inositol, you basically touch on a lot of them, but inositol has been shown to improve egg quality, ovulation, period regularity, of course, improving insulin sensitivity, which has a huge effect on the rest of PCOS symptoms. It's been shown to improve hair loss, facial hair, again, all symptoms of insulin resistance, improve those cravings. So it's not just something to clear up too, because a lot of times people may think, I don't want to get pregnant. Is inositol still right for me? Or I don't want my periods to be regular because I don't want to get pregnant. Is that okay? Should I be still taking it? So a couple of things there too is like it's not just for fertility, it's for overall hormonal health, because having your periods be regular also is crucial for your health, because it's literally a vital sign of a woman is your period. If your period is on time, every 30 days or around that, that means that's a good sign that you have good hormonal balance. If it's off, then that means that something is seriously wrong and you need to look into it. So having your period is actually a good thing. It's unfortunately a big misconception due to the lack of awareness given for women's health. But when it comes to metformin, now there's a ton of research studies, especially there's a systemic review which looks at inositol versus metformin. And in it, they found that inositol works just as effectively as metformin without the side effects. In fact, metformin was shown to have 5 times the amount of side effects compared to inositol in the studies. And with that said, also, metformin doesn't actually get down to the root cause, meaning once you get off of metformin, it can actually start to escalate back up. Whereas inositol restores the body's naturally occurring 40-1 ratio of myo and D-chiro-inositol. That's why we'll get into why the formula of the inositol you choose is really important. So for anyone who's wondering about them too, there's the research, that's what it shows. But also keep in mind, in many cases, you can take 2 together, but we highly recommend speaking to your doctor about that, because it may be too much, may drop your blood sugar too low. So keep that in mind as well. But of course, always bring this up to your doctor. If your doctor is giving you metformin, just be like, hey, I see these research studies. Here they are. What do you think? You think I should start taking that? Should I switch? Work with your doctor to see what the best options for you. We're not saying that you should stop metformin, or we're not saying that metformin is bad. We're just telling you about the research studies and the information out there, and for you to work with your doctor to make the best choice.
Yeah, because if inositol works just as effectively as metformin, it's definitely something you want to bring up to your doctor, because metformin is the pharmaceutical competitor of inositol. And metformin itself is kind of like birth control in terms of being an endocrine disruptor. It depletes you of B12. It's not recommended while you're pregnant. And, that can be challenging, especially if you haven't managed your insulin resistance, because while you're pregnant, you don't want to have imbalanced blood sugar. So it's definitely something you want to think, whereas inositol, you can take it while you're pregnant. So it's definitely something you want to bring up to your doctor and say, hey, I want to try this. What do you think? Should I take both? Should I take just inositol? And then you can kind of make that decision with your doctor. I know Dr. Gersh always recommends taking inositol before recommending metformin. She was my doctor that really helped me with reversing PCOS and getting pregnant. So that's why we definitely wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. And keep in mind too, you're going to get the best results with inositol if you're combining it with balanced meals. So for example, if you're having enough protein in your day, if you're having enough fiber, healthy fats to stabilize your blood sugar. Of course, also your movements, like strength training is crucial for improving insulin sensitivity. I can't not say it. And then of course, like layering that with like walking and yoga, like helping your muscles use glucose better. And then of course, sleep and stress. Like if you're having really bad sleep, actually will make your body more insulin resistant the next day, in the next few days. So you really want to focus on sleep and stress as well.
Yeah, for me, insulin resistance was a big problem. Taking inositol was so important, and lifting weights was really important to improve my insulin sensitivity. If I wasn't lifting weights, my blood sugar was all over the place and unstable. So lifting weights 3-4 times a week is super helpful. We have slow weighted workouts in the app. If you're new to lifting weights, you could do it in your living room, just buy some weights, and we show exactly how to do it nice and slowly, and really building muscle, creating muscle to help improve insulin resistance.
Yes, exactly.
So
exactly.
How do we choose the best inositol? Sirak is really good at this. He is always behind the scenes with our supplements, making sure that they're high quality, NSF certified, and all the things that they need to be to reflect the research studies that show the best results. So why don't you jump into how to choose the right inositol?
I also want to preface this by saying I have been taking supplements for maybe longer than I've been alive. I have probably swallowed more pills than any other human in this world. So even before we created our supplement company, I've been obsessed. How many
do you take now?
Right now, I take maybe 22 pills a day. Yeah, I'm not even exaggerating. I think I take 14 pills of these certain things that like herbs and
stuff the acupuncturist suggested.
Yeah, and then there's something else. Of course, I take like our Metabolism Plus Omega-3, curcumin, and the CoQ10 every single day. I don't take the multi because that's formulated for PCOS. Then I take L-carnitine, I take quercetin, I take
Okay.
There's so much. I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway,
get into the question.
Seriously,
how do you choose the right inositol?
Okay, so
and where can they find the best ones?
Yes.
Okay.
So when we look at the research studies, the specific formula used in the research studies for PCOS women is a ratio of 40:1 myo and D-chiro inositol. So the first thing you should look for when you buy the inositol is 40:1 ratio. If it's a good one, they'll make it very clear in the front of the bottle or the product or the name even. With that said, the second, and this is actually just as important as the first thing, is the dosage. What you want to do is it should be a total daily dosage of 4,000 milligrams. You take 2,000 in the morning and then 2,000 in the evening. Usually it's with a scooper. The scooper will have exactly the right dosage. So in the morning, you put the powder in water, you drink it with breakfast, and then at night you drink it again with dinner. total of 4,000 milligrams. Again, this is crucial because that is the dosages used in the research studies for PCOS women. Third, you want to make sure this product is has some sort of third-party certification. The reason why is inositol is massively produced. It's even produced and put into certain drugs as because it looks like that certain drug, if you know what I'm talking about, the white powder. So it's massively used throughout the world in crazy ways. It's even used in movies to actually make it look like it's that white powder, because again, it's like acting, right? They're not going to use the real thing. But anyway, so it's so massively used that you want to make sure it's third-party tested to make sure it includes what it says it does. You want to make sure it's free of contaminants. You want to make sure it's free of any lead or any God forbid, like something like asbestos. Like, you never know what happens at the places where these are manufactured. You don't know what kind of factory it was in. Was it some just rundown factory in the middle of nowhere, or was it like a really legit factory where they have like certifications to make sure everything is done and everything is cleaned, etc. So third-party testing, make sure these are done.
That's a really good point. Sirak just went on like a grand tour visiting warehouses to make sure that they were up to standards. You know, like they can seem okay online and over the phone, but we're really particular about the warehouse, where it's being made, how it's being made, because there are, you see a lot of like different inositols on like TikTok and stuff, but you don't actually know like how it's being made, especially because most of them are not NSF certified.
Yeah.
And they could be mixed with like other things that just are cheaper products that just like are filler. Okay.
Yeah.
Which we know happens. So don't ask too many questions, but it definitely happens. That's why we always say it's NSF certified. So you're getting what the studies show you're getting.
Yeah, exactly.
What the studies show you need to get.
I mean, sometimes too, like just to give people behind the scenes of how like the supplement world really is, a lot of times you'll see a generic statement, third-party tested, but what does that really mean? Well, usually what people do is, let's say I'm buying this product, or let's say I'm buying inositol from a supplier, right? They'll give me their test results, but obviously their test results is their test results of their own product. So is that like, and a lot of people will call that third-party testing, but in reality, it's just what they're telling you it is, and you have to believe them, take them for their word. That's where like NSF certification comes in. That's it's a non-profit company where you send your products to them and they independently test them for you and tell you exactly what's in them and what's not in them. And then they will post those results online publicly. So it's available to everyone in the world what is in your products. That's obviously a risk for a lot of companies, because if it's something that's bad in there, they have to like fix that and it could be publicly known. So with that being said, just extra caveat, like if something is NSF certified, that is again one of the best things you can find. It's actually the best certification you can find, so that's really positive. With that being said, our recommendations. Now, as you guys know, we've been a huge supporter of Ovasitol by Theralogics. They make exactly the 40-to-1 ratio with the 3-month supply. So if you heard of them or have not heard of them, they're a great recommendation. We do have a little bit of a surprise. We are coming out with our own inositol. As you guys know, I just mentioned, we've been a big supporter of Theralogics and we love their inositol. We realized though that, up until now, we have OvaFit, our own brand right here, right? And we've been having Ovasitol on our website. And there's like this clash of branding basically happening. Like, it's like we're having our products and then we're selling one of something from Theralogics. So we realized this was kind of like confusing people. Some people thought that we're Theralogics or that we make Ovasitol, and that's not the case at all. I mean, they're great, don't get me wrong, but that's not the case. So to get rid of that confusion, or one of the reasons is we want to get rid of that confusion. So we're just having our own inositol product with the same exact 40-to-1 ratio, 4,000 milligrams a day, and NSF certified. That's right. We're not going to do anything without the NSF certification for this inositol because of everything I just said. And then lastly, we also wanted to make it more affordable. So we're, of course, going to have it a 30-day supply option that's much cheaper than buying the 90-day supply. Of course, again, keep in mind, Usually it takes 3 to 6 months to see results, but we want to give you a cheaper monthly option, plus give you also a 3-month bundle option with a bigger discount. So that way, overall still will cost you less compared to the other option. But again, I just want to say we love Theralogics, we love Ovasitol. Hope you understand, listeners, the reason why we're making this change is like a branding thing. And of course, because we want to provide you with a same alternative in a cheaper cost factor. And then, maybe from there, we even make like flavored options, like naturally flavored options, not fake flavors of the inositol. This will be like evolution. Like we'll start with this inositol, and then like as we go, maybe develop it into like a flavor with like additional ingredients to make it even better for you.
Yeah, you can quickly add it to your protein shake. It's going to be so great. I mean, I'm really excited. The packaging is pretty if you want to like leave it out on the counter. But essentially, it's the same thing, super effective, exactly what the studies show for women with PCOS to get the best results. And that's what we're here for. We're here for results, reversing PCOS and thriving with PCOS. And if you want, getting pregnant.
Yes.
So here we are, sisters.
Yeah. And if you want to learn more about that inositol, just check out the link in the description of this podcast episode. It may not be out yet by the time you listen to this, or it may be. The only way to know is just go to the link in the description, and I'll put something there for you to either order it, pre-order it, or learn more about it.
All right, sisters. This was so much fun.
Yeah.
Join us next time.
Until then, take care.